Hey guys, it's Jessie here. I'm back with another video, and today I'm going to be sitting down and answering some of your guys' questions. I posted a video last week announcing that I was going to be doing a Q&A session and asking if any of you had any questions, and some of you left some here. I also got some questions over on Instagram, so I thought I would just take some time to sit down and answer your questions. But before I do that, I want to make a little bit of an announcement. I am going to be hosting a holiday card exchange. I just went and got myself a P.O. box. I'm very, very excited about it, and I thought that it would be super fun if that's you guys and me, sent some holiday cards back and forth. So what I'm asking that you do if you would like to be involved in this holiday card exchange is just mail me a Christmas card, mail me a Hanukkah card, mail me a holiday card, whatever holiday you celebrate. If you don't celebrate holidays, then mail me a hi, hello card. I would love to hear from you guys. Everyone that sends me a card will receive a card back from me, and I think it'll be super fun. I know that holiday cards have sort of fallen out of popularity. Not very many people send and receive them anymore, and it's a shame because I love getting snail mail, I love getting Christmas cards, so that is what's going to be happening. I wanted to make sure and announce it here right at the beginning of November. That way there'd be plenty of time for me to get your cards and have time to send the cards before the new year. So if you guys are interested in that, don't hesitate to drop me a line, drop a card in the mail, and I will get one back to you just as soon as I can. I'm very, very excited about this. I'm hoping some of you might be excited too and be willing to send cards. Otherwise, I guess my mailbox will be empty. I know that snail mail is not the thing anymore with email and text messaging and, you know, YouTube comments, but I still love mail. I love sitting down and writing letters and notes, so hopefully I can send some to some of you. That P.O. box is listed in the description box down below, so, you know, get out there and write me a card. I'd love to hear from you. So now that I got that out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and answer some of your guys' questions. I've got them here on my phone, so if you see me looking down, that's what's up with that. And I'm not going to answer them in any particular order. So this first question is from Miss Nail Queen, and she says, "Hi, I love your Dollar Tree hauls, especially when they include polish, because then it brings hope to find extinct polishes. My question is, what polishes that were or are really hyped about are worth getting?" You know, I think that a lot of times nail polish, beauty products, books, websites, anything that people can kind of hype are all subjective. So what I like, you may not like. What some person might rave about, another person might just say it's kind of crappy. The only polish that I can think of specifically that I think was really, really hyped that I went and bought and really loved, I almost hesitate to talk about because you can't really get it anymore, is the Sally Hansen Hard as Nails Extreme Wear polish in Pacific Blue. Now you can still get that polish, but it's since been reformulated and it's not the same. That polish, though, in its original form was so beautiful. I have it. I also have a backup. I'm so glad that I do, even though I'll probably never get through the first bottle. It's just a really beautiful color, really beautiful formula. As far as polish brands that I think are kind of hyped up a little bit on YouTube, you know, people talk about OPI polishes all the time, and I don't really see what all the fuss is about, honestly. They seem like any other nail polish to me. And you know, they're a little bit more expensive than, say, like Sally Hansen, Revlon, that sort of thing. So I don't generally buy OPI because I just haven't been wowed. The same with Essie, just kind of underwhelmed me. The polish, though, that I think is really worth the hype and the price is Zoya polishes. So when you hear people talk about Zoya polishes and they talk about the formula and the finish, I think that's all right on. I really, really love Zoya. So definitely recommend Zoya. Hope that answered your question. Next question is from Catherine P. And she says, "Hi Jessie, sorry to be a question hog." You're definitely not a question hog. "But would you have ever considered doing a what I am getting my kids for Christmas video and also what I got for Christmas video. I really love watching these sort of videos. I do a what I got for Christmas video every year. You can look back and check out some of my previous ones if you're interested, but I will definitely be doing that video again. And I do have some sort of video addressing what I got my kids for Christmas. I don't know whether it will be a full-on like Christmas haul after the fact or Christmas gift ideas, but I definitely have something like that planned. So there will be something along those lines on my channel in December. She also asks, are you a bookworm? I am somewhat of one and really enjoy watching book review videos. Would really love to know your views on any books you have read and what types of books you enjoy. She says, thanks so much for making your videos. I just love them. Have a great day. Well, thank you so much, Catherine. I used to be a really huge bookworm. Like, I used to read multiple books in a day. I'm a very fast reader, so reading multiple books in a day is pretty easy for me. I haven't had as much time, or that's not true. I haven't made as much time recently to read new books. A lot of times I will go back and reread my old favorites. But I haven't read a new book in a really long time. So if you guys have any suggestions for books, I'm kind of open-minded. I'll read just about anything once. I really, really like fiction. Not really into like true stories. I prefer to wrap myself up in a good fiction novel, but any book recommendations you guys have, I would love to hear from you guys. Leave me a comment down below. Honestly, the most recent book that I read was the Hunger Games series, so that tells you it's been a little while, but I'm sorry, I keep looking over here. I'm looking at my bookshelf. But yeah, I don't know about book reviews because I just haven't been making time for it. It might be something I would consider in the future. Thank you for your question. Next up, I have a question from The Painted Nail. She said, hi Jessie, how many pets do you have and what are they? I'm a huge animal lover, so I'm always interested in everyone's pets. Hi, I have a dog. She's a Shih Tzu. She's about 6 years old and her name is Patches. She was my mom's dog and I adopted her when my mom passed away. I also have a red-eared slider, which is a turtle that I have had since I was 14 or 15 years old. It was my family pet when I was a teenager, and I brought him with me when I moved in with my husband, and he started out about this big and now he's, you know, this big, so he's pretty big. His name is Elvis. I have a cat. He's a little tuxedo cat. Well, he's not little, he's huge. He's a fat cat. His name is Sirius, and I have a chinchilla that is the most recent addition to our family, and he is just a few months old, I believe, and his name is Hagrid. We lost our beagle, Molly, earlier this year. She was a big part of our family and we lost her. But that is all of the pets that I have, and that's all of the pets that I intend to have. I think I'm done with pets. I said that though when Molly passed away, that we weren't getting any more pets, and then we brought the chinchilla into the family, so you can't really quote me on that. Wow, it's dark in here. I wonder if that will help. Not really. Whatever. I got a question from Kitty Kitterton. Hi, thanks for your question. She says, what is on your Christmas list? As far as my Christmas list, I haven't really thought about it too much. Typically the items that go on my Christmas list are things like nail polish and beauty products, but I haven't really sat down and thought about what I would like to receive this year. I've done a lot of thinking about what I want to give because I really like to think ahead, but I much prefer giving gifts to receiving gifts, so I haven't really thought about what I want. Probably some sort of makeup slash nail polish slash like hobbyist paper crafting type goodies. We'll see. She also asks, what advice would you give your 21-year-old self? And that's a really good question. When I was 21 years old, I was just getting married. I kind of started out life really, really quick. I was 17 when I got pregnant with my first child and 18 when he came into our lives. I met my husband at 17 and you know, we moved pretty quickly. We got engaged relatively quickly after he and I met and fell in love, and we held off. We had sort of a longer engagement, so we got engaged really quickly, but then we didn't get married for 4 years. Anyways, that's a long drawn out way of saying when I was 21, I was already well into my sort of adult life. I know a lot of people wait until they're much older to start their families and whatnot, but I chose to start early, I guess. What advice would I give my 21-year-old self? I don't really know. I feel like if I could go back and tell my 15 or 16-year-old self something, that would really be where I gave myself advice. But by 21, I'd sort of had things figured out, and I know that sounds crazy. Nobody has their life figured out at 21, but I kind of did. I really knew what I wanted. I was very kind of mature for my age. Having my son so young, I think, did that for me. I guess the advice that I would give my 21-year-old self is just enjoy it, because I feel like time goes so fast. Here I am, 30 years old. Seems like 21 was just a blink away. Enjoy it. Don't wish time away. And that's advice that I would give to just about everyone. I hear people, especially younger people, say things like, oh, I can't wait until this. I can't wait until that. It's nice to be excited about things, but really don't wish time away. Enjoy every single second with the people that you love and have in your life. I wish that I had spent more time with my mom, knowing now that she was going to pass away so young. So I guess what I would say to my 21-year-old self is just enjoy every single second of your life, because it goes really, really fast. Sorry if that wasn't the answer you were looking for. I didn't really think about these questions. In fact, this is the first time I've read some of them, so maybe I would have had a better answer had I sat down and thought about it, but that's what came to the top of my head. Pink So 50 asked me a few questions. She asked me, what led you to write down your life, appointments, schedules, routines, and special days on a planner? In other words, what was your inspiration to use a planner? I think that the thing that finally pushed me to paper planning was that I had just found out about my herniated disc in my back. I was going to a lot of doctor's appointments for myself. My youngest son has Hirschsprung's disease, and so we were going to a lot of doctor's appointments for him. My husband's work schedule was changing a little bit and getting crazy. My sons were just kind of getting busier in life, so there was just a lot of things to keep track of. I was using my phone for a lot of things, and it just wasn't working out for me. I was finding that, if I had to call and make my son a doctor's appointment, I was on my phone talking, and when it came time to decide what day the appointment was, I couldn't really check my calendar to find out what I had going on, because clearly I was on my phone. So that was a big reason why I wanted to get into the paper planning. That way I could have it right in front of me. I've always been a list person. I make to-do lists every day. I've always done that. And also it was just starting to be a bigger thing on YouTube, seeing people do like plan with me videos and whatnot, and that intrigued me. So just a culmination of life just being a little crazy and lots of appointments and things, and then also seeing other people get into it, I think is what led me to get involved in the planner community. She asked, have you always been an organized planner? I'm not organized. I'm not organized at all. This planner thing has helped a ton, like a huge amount, but I'm really not an organized person. My home is not organized nearly as well as it should be. My life is not organized, and the planner definitely helps with that. It's been a process, and it's something I'm working on, trying to get more organized, but I'm not a naturally organized person. And she said, what motivated you to have a YouTube channel? I think the thing that ultimately started me on YouTube was my youngest son going back to school, or going to school rather. He started kindergarten 3 years ago, and I was a little lost. Being a stay-at-home mom and dealing with children and toddlers and babies has been my life since I was 18 years old. It's just been who I am and what I do. my husband and I chose very early on to have me be a stay-at-home mom. It was something that was important to us, and we've sacrificed a lot to be able to do that. We clearly do not make a ton of money, but when my youngest son went back to school, I really struggled with what I wanted to do. I still wanted to be able to be at home and taking care of the house and just being there for my children when they got home from school every day. But there were a lot of hours in the day where I just had nothing to do. You know, there's only so much housework you can do. There's only so much cooking and baking, all things that I love to do, but I needed something to fill my time. Beauty and makeup has been a passion of mine for a while. I used to watch a ton of YouTube videos, still do, but it just felt like something that would be fun for me, felt like something that would fill some of my time, and it would kind of give me somebody to talk to. I'm really an introvert. I have a lot of social anxiety. I don't make friends easily, especially at the time I wasn't driving, I wasn't leaving my house very much. I was really sort of a recluse. Is that how you say that word? I think so. So having somebody to talk to, just kind of setting up my camera, at the time I was using my laptop and my little webcam, it was terrible quality, but just having someone to talk to, even though there wasn't really anybody watching me at that point, was just really nice. It gave me something to do, it gave me something to look forward to and plan, so that's kind of how I got into YouTube. And since, in the last year, I think this has really been something that I have just loved. It's sort of evolved from a beauty and makeup channel into more of a lifestyle channel, and it's really been so much fun. I've been getting more and more involved in it, and it's really been a great hobby for me. I've met so many amazing people because of it, so that's kind of how I started out on YouTube and why I continue with YouTube, because I really, really love it. Even though I don't have a huge following, and I didn't have a huge following for a really long time, for probably the first year and a half, I was maybe getting like 12 to 20 views on my videos. And even now, I don't get a huge amount of views on most of my videos, but I don't really feel like I'm talking to myself anymore. So it's really been awesome, and I'm really glad that I started it. Wow, this is a yammery video. Okay, she also asked me, what one makeup item that you cannot live without? Mascara. I don't wear makeup on most days. I love putting on makeup. I love the art of applying makeup. I'm not the best at it, but I do love it. But it's just not really fit for my lifestyle as a stay-at-home mom to wear makeup every single day. But I do wear mascara most every day because I just think it wakes up the face, opens the eyes, and I just feel kind of naked without it. She says, if you're a nail polish collector, which one would you recommend most, such as brand and color? I'll just tell you guys my all-time favorite nail polish, which is Revlon's Gold Coin. I think it's a great neutral and standard that everyone should have in their collection. And she said, how do you take your coffee? I take my coffee with either flavored creamer, like the liquid sugar-free vanilla type creamer, or with just like non-dairy creamer and Splenda. This is fun. I'm having a blast talking to you guys. Jessica W says, how do you like your happy planner? I absolutely love it. Plan with me videos are some of my favorite to film. As I said before, I'm not organized, so it's been doing an amazing job of helping me stay on task, not miss appointments, get things done. Really, really loving it. I haven't really tried too many other planners, so I can't really compare it. I like it a lot better than my Erin Condren horizontal, I know that. I definitely am a vertical planner girl. But yeah, I'm loving it. I've got another question here from Catherine P, and this might be my favorite question of them all because it's something that I wasn't expecting. She says, I have noticed that you wear 2 engagement-looking rings on your wedding ring finger. Is one your wedding ring or a promise and engagement ring, family heirlooms? I know it's a really bizarre question, but has intrigued me ever since I started watching you. They're really beautiful, by the way. I just have not seen this look before. Okay, so I know it's a little bit bizarre. This is what she's talking about. If you guys have no idea, if you've never noticed, I do wear 2 engagement rings on one finger. And the reason for that is when my husband first proposed to me, like I said a little bit earlier, we were very, very young. I was 17, he had just turned 21, or was just about to turn 21. We met and fell in love very, very quickly. It was sort of a whirlwind thing. Nobody really thought it could last, being that I was 17 and we had been dating for like a month and a half when he proposed. He originally proposed to me just as a sort of a whim, spur of the moment thing with a little cigar band. He said one day, we were sitting in my mom's living room because at the time we were living with my mom. He said, if I asked you to marry me, would you say yes? And I, without even questioning, I said yes, absolutely. And so he said, okay, then will you marry me? And I said yes, absolutely. And I wore a little cigar band, which is the little paper band around a cigar, if you guys aren't familiar, on my engagement ring finger for a month and a half, and we were engaged. We didn't really tell anybody. It was just sort of our thing. I don't know how seriously either one of us took it. I knew that I loved him. I knew that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with him, but I also knew that I was 17 years old. You know, realistically, I didn't know. I really wanted it to be forever, but I didn't know. So then, this was right before Christmas. He and I met and got together officially in November. Just before Christmas, he said, you know, this little spiel about let's get married. And then on New Year's Eve, he dropped the engagement ring. I'm gonna cry. He dropped the engagement ring into a glass of wine, and when I got to the bottom of the glass of wine, I found the ring in the bottom of the glass, and that's when he got down on one knee and proposed to me. And this is the ring that he proposed to me with. He was 20 years old, I was 17. We did not have a lot of money, you guys. And this was, he said, the best ring that he could afford. I absolutely love it. I think it is absolutely beautiful, and I have not taken it off a day since. A few years down the line, his mom actually gave him a ring. He was talking to her about wanting to get me something better, and she gave this to him to give to me. And this is the other ring that I wear, which I find equally beautiful. So he said that this ring was to replace this ring, and I flat out told him that nothing was ever going to replace this ring. The way that he proposed to me, the sentiment behind it, I was never ever going to replace this ring. So what I did was I wore this ring on this hand for a really, really long time. Doesn't really fit so much anymore. I've gained quite a bit of weight since then, but when we finally went to go get married and we went and bought his wedding band, we thought about buying me a wedding band, but in the end, ultimately, we just decided that I already had two rings, and I love the way that they look together, so I wear them both. And so they're technically both engagement rings, but that's that. I don't know if that makes any sense. I never ever wanted to replace my original ring with the new ring, but I love the new ring as well, so I just wear them both. I may get a wedding band sometime in the future, but I mean, he and I have been married for almost 10 years now and I don't have one, so I don't really feel the need for one. But I think that they look really beautiful together. They both have so much meaning to me, and so I wear them both. I hope that answered your question. And the last questions that I'm going to answer today are the questions that I received on Instagram from my friend Stacy. She asks, if you could live anywhere, where would that be? I'm gonna go really cheesy and say right here. I really, really love Michigan. I love being close to the family members that I'm really close to. I love my little home, and we're all pretty happy here and settled in here. My children are well into their school careers. I wouldn't want to move them away now that they're involved in school. I don't know, I hate Michigan in the winter. I hate winter, I hate snow, I hate cold, I hate ice. But I feel like Michigan is just such a beautiful place to live. There's so much to see, the different seasons and the changing leaves and the spring. It's just a really pretty place. They say that if you don't like the weather in Michigan, you wait 10 minutes and it will change, and that's true. You get a lot of different weather patterns here. And like I said, everything that I know is here. I've lived other places. I lived in Florida when I was younger, and I enjoyed it there, but I missed the seasons. My husband and I have spoken about the possibility of someday moving to Arizona or Texas, but I don't ever see that actually happening. We're both very close with the family members that live nearby, so as far as outside of the United States, I would love to go and visit lots of places, but I don't think that I would ever want to live anywhere else. I love my country, and I just love my home, so sorry if that's cheesy and not at all creative. The last question for today is, what was the last thing you bought to watching a video? That would be the Revlon Cherries in the Snow nail polish. I just picked it up this morning after watching Stacy actually talk about it in the nail polish tag video that she just did. I'm not sure exactly what it was. So you, Stacy, inspired me to buy that, so there you go. So that's it. This turned out to be quite a bit longer than I anticipated. I don't know if any of you are still watching, but I really enjoyed hearing from you guys and being able to answer some of your questions. If anything that I have said today has inspired new questions, feel free to leave them down below. I can always do another Q&A video in the future. But hopefully you guys enjoyed hearing a little bit about my life and getting some insight on me. I really appreciate all of you guys taking the time to ask me questions and taking the time to watch me answer them. So don't forget to send me a holiday card if that's something that you are interested in. Leave any comments, questions, thoughts, opinions, whatever down below in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. If you just randomly stumbled across this video and you have no idea who I am, and you're still watching, which really probably is not the case at all, but I'm Jessie. Feel free to stick around and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. Bye!